Anti-cancer functional foods, which are made of the components extracted from natural crude medicines, is expected to be developed for the first time in our country and to be put on the market as early as this month.
These foods, called HemoHIM and Hebaton, play the functions of preventing the damage of living bodies and promoting hematogenesis, immunity, and the regeneration of living tissues. In order to prove such effects, the cancer cells were injected into mice. In the left mouse, cancer cells continue to be transmitted, whereas in the right mouse, into which the functional foods were injected, the effect for controlling cancer cells occurred. These two functional foods developed this time extracted their components from our traditional oriental medicines, including Angelica gigas Nakai. The method was to create the new complex materials by combining the natural crude medicines with biotechnology and radiation technology. Each component was separated, so each effect was tested. And then, in order to maximize each effect, the components were reorganized again. The previous natural physiology activation materials were limited in anti-cancer effects and were strong in toxicity, whereas the anti-cancer functional foods enhance their effects and eliminate their toxicity by synthesizing various components. These anti-cancer functional foods is expected to be put on the market in month in parallel with the clinical test in Korea Atomic Energy Hospital.
The new biochemical complex, which greatly enhanced the immune power of cancer patients, was developed by our domestic research team. According to the results of a clinical test, the recovery of leukocyte was enhanced and the side effect of cancer treatment was largely eliminated.
HemoHIM, the natural crude medicine material, which was made by mixing natural crude medicines. Through executing the intensive analysis on about 30 types of natural crude medicines, Korea Atomic Energy Research Institute produced this natural crude materials by recompounding Angelica gigas Nakai. These natural crude medicines include sulfur oxides activating the immunity and promoting hematogenesis function. So this research team developed immunity-increasing materials by recomposing these components. Because the investigated materials promote the functions of immunity and hematogenesis, the sulfur oxides prevent the damage of normal tissues by radiation or anti-cancer medicines. According to the results of clinical experiments in Korea Atomic Energy Hospital, the new natural crude medicine materials enhance the immunity power of cancer patients largely. After 15 patients of breast cancer and uterine cancer each took the new natural crude medicine materials, all their recovery speeds increased by 60%. Especially this natural crude medicine complex could decrease the side effects according to cancer treatments, including inflammation or mimesis. Though the cancer patients had suffered difficulties due to decreased strength owing to their cancer treatment, about 80% of the patients taking this natural crude medicine complex answered that this was helpful for the increase of their strength. The cancer is a typical disease which threatens the life of contemporary people. The three major cancer treatment methods are surgical operation, anti-cancer medicine, and radiation treatment. However, in case of terminal cancers, the rate of perfect cure is only about 20%. Even though the up-to-date advanced contemporary medical science regards the cancer as an incurable disease, in order to solve the incurable diseases of contemporary medical science, the new attempts to find their solutions in the reinforcement of immunity power is arousing our interest freshly. Among these attempts, the immunity research and development of educational industrial complex is continuing to produce their competitive research results. Our medical field challenges the immunity treatment without side effects through bold investment and continuous research. The program Amunjung Mosaic will identify such change of our medical field in detail. Korea Atomic Energy Research Institute, located in Daejeok Research Complex, is the only domestic atomic energy synthetic expert institution in which the development of new medicines is promoting actively. Here is progressing the scientific research on cancer treatment based on the up-to-date advanced technological power. Dr. Jo Song-ji is the very person who has led such research in Radiation Food Biotechnology Research Team. In order to solve the question, how can we prevent the side effects according to the cancer treatment? He has concluded to execute from the component analysis of many natural crude medicines to animal experiment during the previous 5 years. As generally, radiation or anti-cancer medicine is used in order to cure the cancer, their side effects are that the immunity modulation system cells are damaged and the regeneration tissues are damaged. For example, as such side effects, their hair falls out, or they feel nausea, or they have difficulty in taking a meal. So our research team started our research in order to develop such materials as can protect the normal tissues and promote the recovery by using the food materials without toxicity. During the recent 5 years, through various researchers, we have compounded Paeonia japonica, Miyabe et Takeda, Ligusticum officinale Kitum, and Angelica gigas Nakai, and have separated the effective components from their extracts, and have recomposed the effective components, so that we could develop the new complex composite. This new complex composite contains the effect of promoting immunity and hematogenesis, and the anti-cancer effect, and the effect of protecting the normal tissues against radiation. I will explain these effects in detail by using the figures. First, in case of the effect which radiation exerts on cells, if radiation is shot on the normal cells, you can see in the figure that the cells are damaged, so that DNA is cut and flows so. Then, if the material which our research laboratory developed is treated, you can see that the damage of DNA decreases to this extent. You can see that this figure shows the cross-sectional view of the small intestine. So, if only radiation is shot, you can see that the regenerating tissues die considerably. But if the first product, which we developed, is injected and then radiation is shot, you can see that the regenerating tissues survive considerably. This is the results of the experiment which we executed in order to test the effect of projecting the hematopoietic stem cells. If radiation is injected, you can see that the hematopoietic stem cells survive and regenerate. In comparison with that, if our development material is injected, you can see that the hematopoietic stem cells survive much more. According to the result, you can see that the hematopoietic stem cells propagate to this extent. This animal experiments result that we can enhance the anti-cancer effect through the activation of immunity function has already been derived. By using indigenous natural crude medicine, including Angelical gigas Nakai, the new natural crude complex, which was differentiated from the previous Oriental prescription, was created. We developed the complex composite, which has the effect of controlling cancer cells. I will explain such effect in detail by seeing the figure. If cancer cells are transplanted to mice, the mice comes to die gradually. Thus, in 20 days, all the mice will die. But this time, if the complex composite is injected, you can see that the mice can survive longer. If I explain the principle in brief, it is that the complex composite enhances the activation of cancer cells, which can kill the cancer cell. In this figure, you can see that the activation of P cell is enhanced to this extent. Here, you can see that the cancer cell killing power of macrophage is enhanced to this extent. As you can see now, this complex composite can enhance the activation of immune cells, and so control the cancer cells and eventually have the anti-cancer effect.